Hey, what is up? Welcome to this episode of the Wantrepreneur to Entrepreneur podcast. As always, I'm your host, Brian Lofermento, and in a world where everybody wants to talk about AI and everyone's asking what comes next, I think it's pretty clear at this point that we've gone from all of us just typing back and forth to ChatGPT and other large language models to now we're entering such an exciting era of agentic AI. And people throw that term around so much, but I don't feel like people go deep enough to actually talk about what's possible when it comes to agentic AI. And that's why we have found not only an incredible entrepreneur there, but a true innovator that really deeply understands businesses to go along with why use agentic AI, how to use agentic AI. This is somebody who not only is he crazy smart and good at what he does, but you're going to love his energy. I'm so excited for everyone to learn from today's guest. So let me introduce you to Rafsan Bhuiyan. Rafsan is the founder and CEO of OrionQ, which is an AI technology company focused on transforming how businesses automate and scale their revenue operations. So if you're tuning in saying, Brian, Rafsan, I don't have revenue operations. What the heck is that? Don't worry. Rafsan has so much appreciation for the business side of things in addition to the tech. And that's what his specialty is and where his superpowers lie. So we're definitely going to talk about revenue operations. With a background in enterprise AI, data engineering, and automation, Rafsan has led large-scale AI adoption initiatives at companies like T-Mobile and CarMax. Today, he's helping organizations harness agentic AI to streamline communication, accelerate sales, and turn everyday interactions into measurable business growth. That's goals right there, and I think it sets the perfect stage for today's conversation. So I'm not going to say anything else. Let's dive straight into my interview with Rafsan Bhuiyan. All right, Rafsan, I am so very excited that you're here with us today. First things first, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks, Brian. I really appreciate it. This is super exciting to be here. And I love the intro music, by the way.
Heck yeah. It's funny, Rafsan, I only a few times in 1,300 plus episodes I've revealed that I can see our guests while that pre-roll music is loading. And I always love seeing guests jamming out the way that I am to the music to set the scene. So you've got a lot to live up to. I'm going to ask you to take us beyond the bio to kick things off. Who is Rafsan? How'd you start doing all these cool things?
Absolutely. So I am Rafsan Bhuiyan. I grew up in Bangladesh. I moved to New York. I studied computer science. I've been studying computer science for a long, long time. And I also served in the U.S. military. Fun fact about me, my high school was in the Northern Marianas Island in Saipan. So I studied and I graduated from that high school. Lots of, old tanks sitting by the beach. So after I went to New York, I completed my school, I joined the Army, and they shipped me to Hawaii. And I had the best time of my life in Hawaii, the beach, amazing stuff. All throughout, as I was experiencing all this cool stuff, I was studying computer science, writing code, data science, machine learning. And finally, once I was out, I explored the amazing world of career, like in data engineering, computer science. And I ended up becoming a lead software engineer, DSML software engineer, which is data science, machine learning in CarMax, where I led a team to build a personalization engine. If you didn't know what personalization engine is, it personalizes your experience as you're clicking and picking through cars using your web interaction data. So as you're clicking, scrolling, different. If you like a Corolla, it's not going to show you a Ferrari, but there's nothing wrong with Ferrari, but it's more likely to convert. And then also T-Mobile, I had an amazing, fantastic experience working with telecom, leading AI initiatives, training about 7,500 executives on ethical use of AI. What is AI? How to protect it? How to train your team? Cybersecurity, and especially how to find use cases and bottlenecks to build your AI systems. And then I founded OrionQ, and here I am.
Yes, I love that overview, Rafsan, because obviously the recurring theme throughout your entire career and even your academic career is obviously being on that cutting edge of what's possible thanks to computer science, thanks to technology. And we're definitely going to geek out quite a bit about AI together today. But let's start with OrionQ. I teased just a little bit, and Rafsan, I'll share with you that my biggest gripe with podcasting as a platform is most people are not looking at us right now. They can only hear us, and I'm very excited. I wish it was more visual so we could show them OrionQ. But in the absence of visuals, what the heck is OrionQ? And really, I want to hear from you. What was the spark for you to say, hey, this is a tangible need in the marketplace, and I want to be the one that's building it and bringing it to the world?
Absolutely. So OrionQ started as a consulting firm building AI, agentic AI, and multi-agent framework softwares and solutions. And just like in a podcast, I got discovered by a big telco client from the Comcast, the Spectrums. This client is pretty good, and they become our partners. And I was, giving them free consultation for a while, learning about their problems, the bottleneck. And that's where OrionQ really started building their foundation. We built a platform around revenue operation. And if you think about the dream of every business owner is to not only sell their software or their products to the customers, but also to be able to connect, right? So if you really take passion in what you've built in your business, you want to connect with your customers, you want to give them the right information, but sometimes there's not enough time, and other times there is these information gaps and waiting on hold for 15 minutes to get to the right information so you can purchase the product. So that is exactly what OrionQ solves in a platform. It's an umbrella with cohesive technologies that are meant to drive efficiency in the internal operations and also in the external. We have AI voice agent, we have SMS, we have email. We also have single source of truth. I call it the digital business card, Q card. And in OrionQ, we really heavily use the word Q. Q is for questioning, Orion spelled. Q is for quantum. Q is for so many curiosity, if it started with Q. But anyways, it's meant to be, so now no opportunities really becomes a missed call or a wait on hold. It's AI voice agent speaking, digital business card, walking you through the steps, and you remember. And we also have amazing follow-up, really taking care of the customer. And also this software is very good at working with people. And I made sure that I do that because at the end of the day, sure, the AI voice can be almost like a search engine giving you information about that particular product. But at the end of the day, the real people are going to be the ones driving sales. So it transfers the call, you talk to the real salesperson, be personable for the salesperson, and that's it, deal closed. So that's how I built OrionQ, is to really have that human AI synergy as we build stuff and sell and, build our product.
Rafsan, I've got to give you some public kudos there because I'm always in admiration of rappers' ability to make words that don't seemingly rhyme, and you just somehow navigated taking that the Q part of OrionQ and making it curiosity. I absolutely love the way that rolled off the tongue. But really, the other thing that I hear in these insights that you're sharing with us today is that you're using a verb that I don't think most people have fully embraced in their journey with AI just yet. When ChatGPT became mainstream, and obviously all of us publicly, we can all use ChatGPT now. We can talk to it in Claude and Gemini and all the other large language models. That next step is that verb that you're using so frequently, which is that it can do things. It's not just something we use, it is something that can actually do things. And obviously that crosses into the world of agentic AI, and you're talking about agents. Hearing you talk about voice agents and text agents, I don't think most people still, which is crazy because of how quickly these things are developing, I still don't think most people have tapped into all the powers of what AI agents can do for us. Rafsan, give us some real life use cases and examples of what agents can do these days.
Absolutely. So I love the term actions. Traditionally, we had revenue ops solutions and other SaaS softwares showing you visualization where you're at the loan origination stage or selling your product, how much product you have in the supply chain, if you're a product driven company. But as we, come to this Gen AI realm in this world of AI, agentic AI has really shown us that it can perform actions, and we call it LLM actions, large language model actions. And how that works is, actions are able to not only chat with you or understand or talk to you, but it's also able to schedule meetings, provide you the right information in, email you the right links. If you want, let's say, a vehicle that can carry 2,500 pounds, that can haul 2,500 pounds, and it has blue lights. Now, instead of going from dealer to dealer or searching on Google and seeing every single dealer's list from different system, you're just able to talk to an AI and see, hey, I know that you sell this type of vehicles, this pickup trucks. Can you find me the one with blue lights then that can carry 2,500 pounds? Similar concept goes really into this LLM actions. And everything that it really does can be translated that these are LLM actions. Because agentic AI, what the special thing about it is that it almost works as a team, right? So it's a reflection of you, and it's a modern day shovel. I also added in one of the books that I wrote, it's called The Human Way to AI. I talked about how AI is the modern day shovel, and we should treat it like a tool. So the agentic framework, it is trained on your business's knowledge base. It has the culture, some of the culture of your business. It has the capability to pull in information about your business and send out. But they work in teams. So one person is gathering maybe the information of the customer that they're going to reach out via email. So email marketing, but it's at the next level. And this other AI agent personalizes the email, adds the pictures and the necessary things. Maybe the client is, they are a vehicle technology company or they're an automation company. So we describe it such like, hey, look, we're marketing, and we reach out. And we are able to connect at a different level, even with an email. It's because we personalize it for the customer. And it's all happening in the back end with this agentic AI multi-agent system. We even have something called Imagine. I read it in a Medium article last year in December. And I was like, what is Imagine? It was like a manager agent, right? So you have this agent doing the research, this agent talking to this agent. Hey, I found some information about the customer we're about to reach out. And this agent's like, sure, let me see if they hit the unsubscribe button, or can we still reach out? Sure, let's send the email. Another agent sends the email. They have the conversation back and forth. Then our voice agent is like, okay, cool. They're okay with the phone call. Let's go give them a call. And then SMS comes in with a digital business card, and all in one place where you can purchase, and it also upsells, So anyways, it's just the wonderful world, and also how it works with people, because people are able to see the SMS take over the email anytime if they need. And if some customer's like, I don't want to talk to the AI, it transfers it over to the real person, or the real salesperson can initiate a conversation. It flows so well. So it is the modern day shovel. And that's the best way I can put it.
Yeah, I love the fact, Rafsan, that here we are talking about agentic AI, but you're using real business use cases, real life business considerations, real life business team structures and departmental structures and all of that to walk us through this stuff. And obviously that's such a superpower of OrionQ, is that it's not just technology for technology's sake, it's technology that plugs into real life business use cases and real life business needs. And that, I'm going to come back to something that I teased at the very top of today's episode, which is revenue operations. You've honed in on that as such a key gap and such a key opportunity area. And then from a sales and marketing perspective, it's very sexy for all of us because it comes with ROI. We all love the return and revenue part of ROI conversations. So talk to us about revenue operations. You've seen businesses at all different scales, working at T-Mobile, working at CarMax. You've really cool experience that you bring, and obviously that you've baked into OrionQ. Why is revenue operations that important function that you want to inject all of these powers into?
That's a very good question. So fundamentally, revenue operations, the definition has definitely changed since we launched our agentic RevOps software. Revenue operations at a fundamental level is to provide the right information to the customer so that they can purchase a product and have a communication line, and also track so that the internal people know any feedback or how the customer journey is going, data from Google Analytics. And now all the technical stuff comes in, right? You need marketing analytics. You need, on the other hand, you need the supply chain analytics. How are the customers doing? Then you need a phone call center. It's a lot. Our AI system works with call centers too. But the reason why I came, into understanding and really focusing on RevOps is that the biggest problem in RevOps today, in revenue operations of any kind or operations of any kind, is that customers are not able to get the right information fast enough. And even if they try and they're able to get to that loan they apply, it takes them 7 days. Even if you provide them all the bank statements and necessary information, it takes 7 days to get that loan origination to happen. It takes, a lot of 10 days to find the right phone because you wanted XYZ configurations. Instead, you can call and ask, the AI will talk to you, and you can use it as a search engine. And then it flows in, takes all the information, you get transferred, you purchase the product. What happens is internally, you're able to track all those transactions, both verbal and monetary, right? And the customer experience piece is that once we're showing you the product and we can see how you're interacting with our digital business card, our email, and once we see our clients' email digital business card, let me clarify. Once their customers are touching these endpoints and interacting with their email, we can track all the stuff and then personalize the experience for that customer, for our client, using our software. So it kind of feeds in. No data gets wasted. Any feedback that we get from the customer feeds in and then personalizes. Okay, maybe you wanted cybersecurity. Here's a list of cybersecurity products that we have to offer. I know we reached out to you for a Rev Agent software that makes phone calls, but here we go. This is a different software. And if you choose more than one, you get 40% off, let's say, discounts, anything they need. And it's so wonderful how it works together. Visibility is amazing, and that's really what builds impact, and the quickness of getting information through.
Yeah, Rafsan, it's been fun for me. Being an entrepreneur for 17 years now, I get into so many conversations with fellow entrepreneurs, and obviously here through the podcast, I intentionally and strategically have conversations with fellow entrepreneurs. And I have found a trend now where historically I've talked to fellow entrepreneurs about hiring and what's the right role to hire for. And there was always this sticking block for people with regards to hiring of, we're all control freaks as entrepreneurs and business owners. And they would say, I don't know if I can trust someone to take this stuff from me just yet. And now it's fun in 2025, especially late on here in Q4 of this year. We're not just having conversations about hiring human team members anymore. We're talking about adding onto our team through AI agents and AI team members and employees. And the same, I guess, objection remains of people thinking, how can I trust this? Obviously, you very much think about customer experience. You have built an incredible brand, and I'm excited to geek out about the business side of it, not just the tech side. But I do have to ask you, what does that client onboarding look like? For someone who's saying, I want to start using a solution like OrionQ, how do you help them onboard in a way that quickly makes sense of their business, quickly has access to their right knowledge base, that one source of truth that you've talked about? How do you make it so that people can trust it and unleash it, all the powers in their business?
Absolutely. So I come from a consulting background and I love speaking with people. So in OrionQ's approach is understanding the problem and then reverse engineering it backwards, right? And building the solution to address that problem. Similarly, our platform is not just, a subscription, all in one box. You open the box, that's it. This is what you get type of platform. It molds into the client's use case and the client's culture, the company culture, and the knowledge base. Also, we also pay a lot of attention in cybersecurity, which I learned after working for Microsoft, T-Mobile, CarMax. And what I've learned is that, cybersecurity is very, very important in this age of AI, since we're passing so many information. Agents are talking, customer talking through mediums of SMS with agents and emails. So how do we solve that problem, right? So we figured it out. Our customer onboarding is both intuitive, but it also gives them the opportunity to know and feel that, okay, they are well taken care of. We, as they onboard, we show them samples. Our AI agent, it's an interactive onboarding, shows them samples of emails. Hey, pick one. And then the customer's like, no, you know what? Shorten it. I like short and simple. And then they change dynamically based on whatever your preference is and what you want your customers to see. And every company comes with its own energy. Similarly, SMS, imagery, anything that you want to send to your customer, they are configurable with generative AI. And then finally, we actually perform, like, you have to give us your information on the knowledge base that you want the AI to answer to for your customers. But those information is also good for you because you can query them and see what the SKUs are if your real salespeople need it. And they're all secured in this private containment model. And the model sits in your environment. So technically, you're not just ChatGPT or Claude. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have your model that improves with your company and your data improves with your company. So that builds a lot of trust. And it's not something that's out of the box. So even after that interactive experience, we have a consultant working with the client to get the right amount of information. And then finally, we run some tests. We call it pilot. And we deploy, and it works as intended. So all this is really under this one bubble. Also, OrionQ actually builds AI technology that can sit in your computer, and you don't even have to use internet. And it's a trained model with the information you need. So if you're a construction worker or a plumber, and you're out in somewhere where there's no network, you can 100% use your computer to look it up as a manual. And cybersecurity all the way.
That's incredible. Rafsan, clearly you have thought very intentionally and strategically about a lot of things as you've been building OrionQ, but hearing all of these different components of your business, you've got the technology, you've got obviously you as a business owner, there's so many things you have to think about, like revenue generation and lead generation and having those sales conversations. All of that goes along with it, as well as branding, as well as onboarding. There's so many facets to this. So I've got to zoom out and ask you this big question, especially knowing how polished everything is that OrionQ is putting into the world. What did it look like to map all of this stuff out? How did you even begin when you had these visions, begin to make sense of it all so that you can take action on it? Because it's pretty clear to me that you take very fast action and you're way ahead of the curve in a lot of ways. So how did you make sense of it all so that you could execute?
Lots of research, lots of perplexity research, AI. Also, I use Manus AI that use agents for research. I designed the systems. I tried to understand, okay, what's going to work, what's not going to work. Again, I provided free consultation to our telco partners and clients. And I really got the opportunity to learn about the problems that they're facing and then their partners are facing. And it's a big industry, telecommunication. They also provide, network, dish and all that stuff. So I was able to get enough feedback from them to design this system. And agentic AI was constantly changing. And that was another problem, is that as it changes, I had to change the technology. And believe me or not, there's like 4 tools that we built within our revenue operations platform that we had to retire even before it launched. So we had the information, but we're like, hey, you know what? We'll put this away for a later date, because I see that customers' requirements changed and this is what they really need right now. So let's work on that. And I focused on just one very important thing. Phone will always exist. If you want to communicate, as long as there's network, there's service, the internet will always exist. Internet will always exist. And also operations to sell something or advertise something will always exist, almost just like Amazon, right? So how can we make this the next big, easy, marketing platform and revenue platform, which makes it easy for people to get to resources? So I really focused on that phone, the internet, the fiber optic cable, and the operations. At the end of the day, even if you go to a store and you're like, hey, I want to buy a bubble gum, that is also a step where you pick the bubble gum and you're like, hey, I would like to buy it. Maybe before you buy it, you look at it, okay, this is the sugar content. Anyways, I buy it, and then the exchange of cash. And that has become a fundamental truth in our modern day. And also, it's like on our cell phone, we can use Apple Pay. So it's kind of very high technology, right? So anyways, I focused on those truths and I built it. And that's what allowed me to come this far. But there was lots of challenges on the way for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate those insights and that acknowledgement of the fact that there's so much to figure out. And of course, not every step you've taken up to this point has been perfect, but it's also that trust in yourself as a CEO, as a founder, to say, we're going to figure it out. We're going to test things. We're going to break things. We're going to retire things before they've even launched. I love those insights. It really makes me, I enjoy asking this question to other CEOs and founders, that you use the word focus quite a few times there. And when it comes to focus, we could focus on 500 different things in our business. And I'm always so curious to get inside of other founders' minds to see what your time horizon looks like that you focus on. Because day to day, sometimes it feels like everything changes. I would imagine in your industry, everything literally is changing in the world of AI and technology, but at the same time, there's obviously strategic focus points. There's so many decisions that we want to make in our business's growth trajectory. So Rafsan, when you sit down for your executive time, what is that time horizon that you're looking at? What are the questions you're asking of yourself? I'd love to get some of those inside of your CEO's mind insights.
Absolutely. The most important thing that I tell myself, that if I don't think and sketch this out, it's not going to build itself, right? So it's not going to build itself. So somebody has to do it. And if I don't do it, someone else would do it. So that is, and the motivation behind it is that I'm very passionate about agentic AI and LLM actions, right? Scheduling meetings and all that. And it really shows, because I'll tell you a story. I had a designer who needs to design our RevOps Rev Agent's UI, and she just didn't know how to proceed because it's such a new software. There's, similar softwares, but nothing, like it that's 100% that mimics it. But anyways, I had to think outside the box. So I wrote it down. I have a whiteboard. I wrote everything down on the whiteboard that this is my problem. How do I solve it? And I decided to solve with AI. I created a custom GPT that can spit out prompts for building stuff in different technologies. We have technologies that can build UX design. We can have technologies that can build out code. Then I use that prompt engine to spit out prompts that I want the software to be, my vision, and I place it in UX Pilot. Now, UX Pilot spit out an entire Figma design, a hi-fi Figma design that you can click, and it's super cool. And then finally, I refined it, and I shared it with my designer. And it just took a lot of action. I don't wait for the next day to take action. Sometimes I'm super busy and there's 100 things to do, but I like to make progress every day. I write things down. I change the focus, or I improve how our product should look. And every time I do that, I keep one thing in mind. I want to make it easy for my clients and their customers to do these exchanges, save their time. And also, if you save their time is money, right? You get to enjoy your life and you get more out of it. So anyways, it's a struggle, it's a battle, but at the end of the day, I am 100% focused. There are times when life would pull me on the side and like, Rafsan, are you sure you know where you're going? My answer to that is 1000%. I know where the target is. I know where the aim is. And if I build something, sure, there's other platforms, but I am the core differentiator in this platform. And I love people and I love my clients, and the way I work, that is number one. That is something that's going to take care of, our clients. We love taking care of our clients, talking to them, getting their pain point, and we're never going to sell them anything out of the box. So
Yes, Rafsan, I love that answer because that taps into your unique blend. It's not so easy to find your blend of energy, of skills, of perspective, of ambition, of that hustler mindset. Oh, I love taking that away from today's episode. So much goodness that you're sharing with us today that I knew that time would fly by. But I am going to ask you the question that I ask of every guest, and that is, what's your best piece of advice for listeners? Knowing that we're being listened to by both entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs at all different stages of their own growth journeys, and very much knowing that you are one of us, you are a fellow entrepreneur, what's that one thing that you want to leave them with today?
One thing I want to leave them with is that take care of yourself and the people around you that work with you. It's because as you're growing, you can't code everything and build everything. As a developer, I just feel so inclined to just build everything myself. No, what I love about being an entrepreneur and a business owner is that taking care of myself and also taking care of people and getting things done. And at the end of the day, it's the more quality sleep you get, take care. Sometimes you'll stay up, but if you get quality sleep, you work out, take care of yourself, eat healthy, and stay happy, and the same energy goes for your team, you are winning. And wherever you're going, you're going to make a difference.
Yes, so well said. I love that advice. Rafsan, so much of what you shared with us today is both brilliant, but also fundamental. And even right there in that final piece of parting advice, I think that it's the fundamentals that we as humans, we tend to mess up the simple things, but bringing us back and really boiling it down to, okay, what matters right now? It's such a powerful mechanism in our lives and in our businesses. And you're such a shining example of that. So Rafsan, like I said, I wish that people could see OrionQ as we were talking about it, but fortunately they can go check it out for themselves. So for listeners who want to go deeper into all the incredible things that you're creating, launching, innovating here in the world, drop those links on us. Where should listeners go from here?
Absolutely. So I'll definitely drop the links. I'll definitely add the LinkedIn. Just type OrionQ, OrionQ. You may see a vaporware, but don't worry. Underneath that, you'll see all of our links with the CEO as the technology. And it's kind of funny because there's like a vape called OrionQ. But anyways, I am writing a lot of good contents on my LinkedIn as posts about very good tips to use AI, how to make AI your best friend and more. And I'll be on YouTube. So search Rafsan Bhuiyan or OrionQ and you will find me.
Yes, and listeners, you already know the drill. We're making it as easy as possible for you to find Rafsan and OrionQ in the show notes down below. No matter where it is that you're tuning into today's episode, you can just click right on through. So don't worry about Googling. And Rafsan's not kidding. When he says he's putting out so much good stuff into the world, it's how we came across him. And we were so excited to reach out to him and invite him on the show. So we've all been treated to so much brilliance, but it's only the tip of the iceberg because this is someone who's putting so much good stuff into the world in service of us, because he's just like us. He loves business as much as every other entrepreneur does. So Rafsan, on behalf of myself and all the listeners worldwide, thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for listening.